How's it going, folks? This is Wayne R back for another technique lesson today, and this is the third in a series on the scales. This is going to be the major scale. There's a lot of theory that goes behind the scale. I'm not going to go into the theory and everything. All I'm doing this course for is like a beginner's course, just getting some really, useful scales down and everything. If anything else, just to get your fingers moving about and get using that little finger. This is a little bit more difficult than the first two that we've done as well, because you actually start this one with your second finger. So let's dig deep, let's get to it. Okay, so lesson number 3 in our scale series, and this is the major scale. And again, we're going to do it in the key of an A. So that means we're going to actually start with the root note on the 5th fret, okay? And I'll just play you nice and slow first, and I'll talk about what we're going to do. So. Okay, if anybody is familiar with the, the Do Re Mi, the famous song on The Sound of Music and all that, I've never ever seen that film, but and I never want to, in all honesty. But the Do Re Mi, the vocal Do Re Mi So Fa La Ti Do, that is basically the major scale. But obviously we're doing it on a guitar, but we're doing the same thing. Now this, you're going to use the second finger on the 5th fret. Okay, that's going to be the root note. That's the A note. So we play that. On the same string, on the E string, we're going to play the 7th fret, that's with the little finger. It's important to use the right fingers on this. The A string, first finger on is now on the 4th fret, second finger on the 5th fret, and the little finger is going to go on the 7th fret. Okay, we go to the D string, first finger on the 4th fret, third finger is now on the 6th fret, and the little finger is on the 7th fret. We're going to do exactly the same on the G string. So we've got the first finger on the 4th, third finger on the 6th, little finger, okay, is going to go on the 7th. And when we get to the B string, we're going to do the second finger on the 5th, and the little finger is again going to go on the 7th. And there's 2 more notes of the scale, but I tend to add this extra note in as well. So we're going to go first finger on the 4th fret, second finger on the 5th fret. Now you could end it there on the root note again, or I tend to add this extra note in as well, which will be the little finger, okay, on the 7th fret again. So really slowly with that. Okay, so like we did on the other scales, first of all get that down, go through it fairly slowly. It'll seem to you really strange starting with the second finger as well, because obviously, you're used to leading with your first finger. So it's a real good one for getting that separation in your fingers, this. I can remember when I used to play this, it really used to make my fingers ache, but in a good way. So, obviously, practice doing that. You could practice adding your alternative picking in. That obviously when I talk about, alternative picking, obviously the first note is going to be a downstroke, the second note will be an upstroke on the string, and so on, down, up, down, up, down, up, okay? And by doing alternative picking, you can eventually play the scales and things really fast. It's just a fast way, it's much quicker than doing downstrokes in the long run. Another thing you could do as well is, like we've done on the other scales, is obviously play along to a metronome. I hope you've been doing that. Maybe we'll cover that in some of the future lessons of how to go about that. But it's, like I say, it's a great one for finger separation, this one. So that's pretty much it. I'll leave you with that on this one. Okay, so thanks very much for watching again. I hope that was relatively easy to follow. Like I said, that is a great scale for getting the separation in your fingers. There is a lot of theory behind that one. There's 8 notes in the major scale. Obviously we play 8 notes, and then we hit the root note again. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've hit the root note again. But like I said, I'm not going to cover too much theory. It's just obviously useful to get that down. So thanks very much for watching. The next lesson I'm going to start talking about different positions that you can do with the, starting with the minor pentatonic scale. There is actually 5 positions, so hopefully you've got position 1 down. If you haven't, please go back to that lesson and make sure that one's nailed before you can move on. And I will catch you for that lesson very soon. Take care.